Hello, I'm Amy Christian and I work with Dwight Foster Public Library. And the reason that I am meeting with you today and that you're watching this video is how to learn how to make your own bath bombs from our adult craft bags. So if you haven't picked one up, please pick one up, and you can, or you can do this at home. So the ingredients you're going to need are cornstarch, coconut oil, citric acid, baking soda, Epsom salt, some water, measuring utensils, cups and teaspoons and tablespoons, and then you're going to need something for a mold. So I used small mini muffin wrappers and big ones, and then I just used some things around my house. Let's get started. So once you have your craft bag and you have all of the dry ingredients in there, and you'll also have the coconut oil, which will be a solid, and you're gonna need water, the measuring spoons and utensils that way, and molds. That's what you're gonna need from your house. All right, so getting started with this, the first thing we want to do is we want to put the dry ingredients in one bowl. So we're going to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is 2 ounces of citric acid. Now I've done the conversions to teaspoons and cups and half cups, that kind of stuff, just because it was a little easier for me. I don't have a scale here, so I did those conversions. So it's 2 ounces of citric acid, or it is 4 tablespoons. All right, so there's our citric acid. Then we need cornstarch. Now we need 2 ounces of cornstarch, but it's just under a cup of cornstarch, or a half cup, sorry, just under a half cup. So I'm just gonna, just under it. So I'm just gonna kind of fill it up. All right. So, there's our cornstarch. So again, that was 2 ounces, or just under a half cup. Then we need Epsom salt, and we need 2 ounces of Epsom salt, or 3 tablespoons and a half teaspoon. So here's my Epsom salt. So we need 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, and then we need a half of a teaspoon. Okay. So that's the Epsom salt. Then we need 4 ounces of baking soda, and that is a half cup of baking soda. Now I have a 1/4 cup here, so we're gonna do that 2 times. 1, and 2. All right. So that was 4 ounces of baking soda. Okay, and this is our dry ingredients. All right, and we're going to mix that together. And then we're going to mix together our wet ingredients, and that's going to be in a separate bowl. And the wet ingredients are 1 teaspoon of water, and then we are going to do 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Now the coconut oil you're going to get is going to come in a solid form. So what I did in the microwave is I just heated it up so that it was not in a solid form. So it was more of a wet ingredient. And I did the first one that way, and then I did, now I'm going to let this just kind of dissolve so that it is also a wet ingredient. And while that's breaking up a little bit, and the last ingredient for our wet ingredients, and this is optional, this is something that won't come in your kit, but if you have some at home, or I think you could probably use some either zest or orange juice. You could use a little bit of juice. You could use a little bit of lemon. I think that would work out really well. And I'm using peppermint essential oils. So 10 to 15 drops. So obviously you're not going to need a lot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll do 13. Right? And you can choose whatever kind of essential oil you would like, but I think if you used juice, and obviously you would use a little bit more, but okay. And we want to keep the dry and the wet ingredients totally separate, and then we're going to slowly mix them. All right, so this is getting to that point. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to pour that in. And then we're going to mix our wet ingredients. And it smells very pepperminty right now. All right, so there's the wet ingredients. So again, you want to mix your dry ingredients, okay? And then we're going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients, but we're going to mix very slowly. If you're pouring too fast, you'll know it because the citric acid will start to activate and fizz, and that's what we don't want to have that happen. And so we want to pour nice and slow, and we want to mix this constantly the whole time we're doing it, all right? So I think I'm going to use the wet spoon. Pour nice and slow. Okay. Stirring constantly. Oh, going a little fast. It started kicking up there. And just slow it down. I was getting to the end, I guess I rushed a little. I'm just going to scrape that out. And then I'm going to use kind of the back of my spoon . Let me get in here with my hands a little bit. Oh yeah, okay. it's forming. And this seems just a smidge dry, so I think I'm just going to add just a little bit of water yet. Mix that in there. So we want it to resemble wet sand. All right, so I think I'm just going to mix just a little more water. See how it's kind of clumping together? So when I squeeze it, it's forming, all right? So that's kind of where we want it to be. And then we're gonna put it in our molds. So let's get ready for that. Okay, so we have our mixture together. So we're going to put it in molds. Now, obviously around your house, you can find all different kinds. I have a custard dish. I had a small little Tupperware container. If you had disposable cups, I bet you could use. That would work. I'm using a mini muffin pan with some the mini muffin papers. So you can use whatever you got in your house. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna kind of clump it together and then push it down. Same thing. And if you want yours a little wetter, which I think I might do, oh, poured a little too fast. Add a little bit more, just make sure you add it slow again. So this isn't exactly a clean kind of job that we're doing, but it's okay. So you're going to put it in there. And if you want, you can use the back of your spoon. That'll kind of even it out a little. Mine aren't going to be gorgeously beautiful, but I bet if you did this a few times, you could get pretty good at it to make them look really pretty. Another thing you could do is if you had cool muffin paper, I bet that would look really nice as a gift. That would look pretty cool. So that's what you're going to do, is put them in a container. And then you're going to let it sit for 24 hours. So it has to dry. It's going to be completely dry. I'm going to do this one because this is going to be a bigger one. Get my hand in there. I want to try see what that one turns out to be. All right, so that's kind of what you're gonna do. That's how you do it. And like I said, let it sit for 24 hours then. You wanna let them out, just let them dry. And after that, then you can use them. So we have finished our
bath bombs, and mine are all dry, so they've been drying for over 24 hours. My daughter tried one last night. She said it worked really well, fizzed out in her shower, so she was kind of excited about that. So you can use any kind of mold you want. You can, like I said, use muffin pans like I did. You can use those plastic Easter eggs. You can use rubber molds. You can use just about anything to make the shape. So I hope you have fun doing this. And again, my name is Amy Christian, and I work at Dwight Foster Public Library. Have a great day.